Feel like your brain is in a million tabs at once? Imagine switching from that scattered chaos into a state where time disappears, worries vanish, and performance feels effortless. That's flow, the mental zone where challenge meets skill, stress turns into fuel, and productivity and happiness skyrocket. In the next 30 minutes, you'll learn how to engineer flow on demand. Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Audiobook summary and key ideas brought to you by Story Shots. Introduction. What is flow? The complete answer. What is flow? A mental state of deep focus where challenge matches skill, goals are clear, and feedback is immediate. Time fades and performance peaks. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's research shows flow can be trained for work, study, sports, and daily tasks. Below you'll find the 8 components: how to avoid psychic entropy, boredom, anxiety, and a 5-step plan to engineer flow today. Life gets busy. Has flow been sitting on your reading list? Learn the key insights now. We're scratching the surface in this flow summary. If you don't already have Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's transformative book on psychology, self-help, and personal development, order your copy or get the audiobook for free using the link in the description or the Story Shots app to learn all the details. Here's a story that shows flow in action. Michael Jordan often described games where everything slowed down. The crowd noise disappeared. His opponents seemed to move in slow motion. He could see every play developing before it happened. This wasn't just athletic talent. This was flow state in its purest form. Think about your own life. When was the last time you experienced something similar? Maybe while cooking a complex meal, writing a difficult email, or having an intense conversation. That feeling of complete absorption. That's flow calling. About Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, pronounced Miha Csikszentmihalyi, was a leading professor of psychology and management at Claremont Graduate University and founder of the Quality of Life Research Center, QLRC. With a PhD from the University of Chicago, he dedicated his career to understanding optimal human experience. His groundbreaking research on happiness and creativity culminated in his famous TED Talk, Flow, The Secret to Happiness, which has reached over 7.5 million views and continues to influence how we think about peak performance and intrinsic motivation. Csikszentmihalyi interviewed over 8,000 people across different cultures, ages, and professions to understand flow. From Navajo shepherds to Japanese motorcycle gang members, from Italian farmers to American rock climbers, the patterns were remarkably consistent across all groups. Story Shot 1. How do clear goals trigger flow? Specific near-term goals reduce cognitive load and give instant direction, creating momentum. Break macro goals into small observable steps. The most important part of entering a flow state is having crystal clear direction. But here's the key insight. Instead of thinking about huge, overwhelming goals, successful flow seekers break everything down into smaller, manageable micro goals. Think of a chess master who isn't worried about checkmate 20 moves ahead. Instead, they're completely focused on the immediate move, capturing that knight or controlling the center squares. Csikszentmihalyi uses chess as a perfect example in flow. Although the big goal is checkmate, you should focus on how to clear a particular space or take your opponent's next piece. Each small move gives you immediate feedback and keeps you engaged in the flow channel. Sarah, a software developer, used to feel overwhelmed by large coding projects. She'd stare at her screen, paralyzed by the enormity of building an entire application. Then she learned to break it down. Write the login function, then add password validation, then create error messages. Each micro goal took 15 to 30 minutes and gave her a sense of progress. Within weeks, she was entering flow states regularly and completing projects faster than ever. This principle explains why games hook us so easily. They provide clear rules, immediate objectives, and constant micro-objectives that keep us interested. The genius lies in applying this same game structure to your daily life. Try this right now. Pick one task you need to do today. Instead of thinking, I need to clean, try, I'll organize my desk in 15 minutes by clearing everything and putting items in 3 piles. See the difference? What's one big goal you've been avoiding because it feels overwhelming? Share in the comments how you could break it into micro goals. Story shot 2. Why is immediate feedback essential for flow? Feedback acts like your compass, constantly showing whether you're on track or need to adjust course. Without it, even engaging activities lose their power to create optimal experience. Here's something interesting. Why do video games feel more engaging than most work tasks? The answer is immediate feedback loops. Feedback is a crucial element of flow because it engages us through results. Some tasks are not enjoyable because feedback isn't immediate. This is why waiting for a job promotion or exam results feels so draining. There's no immediate signal telling us how we're doing. Consider this story. Maria, a marketing manager, used to dread writing reports. She'd spend hours crafting documents with no sense of whether they were good until her boss reviewed them days later. Then she started a simple practice. After writing each section, she'd read it aloud and ask herself, would this convince me? This immediate self-feedback transformed her writing process. She began to enjoy crafting reports, and her quality improved dramatically. The solution is to create your own feedback loops wherever possible. Transform mundane chores into mini competitions with yourself. By establishing these personal metrics, you inject immediate feedback into activities that would otherwise feel tedious and unrewarding. Quick experiment. Next time you do a boring task, time yourself. Try to beat your previous record. Notice how this simple change makes the activity more engaging. Pro tip: use the Pomodoro technique with a twist. Instead of just working for 25 minutes, set a specific mini goal for each session. Write 200 words, answer 5 emails, or research 3 competitors. The timer gives you feedback on time. The goal gives you feedback on progress. Story shot 3. How does flow change your life in 4 major ways? Flow transforms your inner mastery, engagement ability, growth mindset, and life unity through intentional attention management and skill development. Control of consciousness determines the quality of life. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. When you successfully integrate flow into your daily routine, the transformation touches every aspect of your life. Inner mastery develops as you gain control over your attention, emotions, and willpower. You become the director of your own mental state, rather than a victim of circumstances. Effortless engagement allows you to find flow even during challenging or stressful periods. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable and even enjoyable when you apply flow principles. Continuous growth occurs naturally as you build a stronger, more resilient self. After each minor challenge you overcome, you will want to move on to a more complex one. This development gives you more opportunities for optimal experience. A unified life emerges as your days feel connected and purposeful rather than fragmented and random. Work, personal time, and recreation begin to flow together harmoniously. Think about this. Which of these 4 benefits would make the biggest difference in your life right now? Story shot 4. What are the 8 essential elements of flow? These 8 components create optimal experience: clear goals, immediate feedback, challenge skill balance, deep concentration, escape from worries, sense of control, loss of self-consciousness, and altered time perception. Through extensive research with artists, athletes, surgeons, programmers, and other high performers, Csikszentmihalyi identified 8 key elements that consistently appear in flow experiences. 1. Clear goals. You always know what needs to happen next, whether it's the next brushstroke on a canvas or the next line of code. 2. Immediate feedback. You can see instantly whether your actions are moving you toward your objective. 3. Challenge skill. Balance. The task is difficult enough to be interesting, but not so hard that it triggers anxiety. A game of chess is only fun if both players are at a similar skill level. 4. Deep concentration. Your attention becomes laser-focused on the present moment through single tasking. 5. Escape from worries. Your mind becomes fully occupied with the task, leaving no room for daily anxieties. 6. Sense of control. You feel confident and capable of handling whatever the activity demands. 7. Loss of self-consciousness. You stop worrying about how you appear to others. 8. Altered time. Perception. Hours feel like minutes, or sometimes seconds stretch into eternity. Real example. Emma, a writer, describes her flow state. When I'm really in the zone, I don't hear the traffic outside, I forget to eat lunch, and I'm completely absorbed in the story I'm telling. It's like the world shrinks to just me and the words. Which of these 8 elements do you experience most often? Which ones are missing from your daily activities? Leave a comment on Spotify or our website to join the conversation. Story shot 5. What's the difference between pleasure and enjoyment? Pleasure satisfies basic biological needs temporarily without growth. Enjoyment comes from stretching your limits in voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. Here's a distinction that changes everything. Pleasure and enjoyment are not the same thing. Pleasure is a biological response that satisfies our basic needs: the relief of hunger, comfort of warmth, satisfaction of rest. These feelings are important but temporary and don't contribute to personal growth. Enjoyment operates on a completely different level. As Csikszentmihalyi observed, the best moments in our lives are not the passive, receptive, relaxing times. The best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. Real-life comparison. Pleasure. Binge-watching Netflix after a hard day feels good in the moment, but leaves you feeling empty afterward. Enjoyment. Learning to play guitar is challenging and sometimes frustrating, but each small improvement brings deep satisfaction and builds your capabilities. This is the deep satisfaction that comes from learning, growing, and becoming more capable than you were before. While pleasure-seeking leads to a cycle of temporary satisfaction followed by emptiness, enjoyment-seeking creates an upward spiral of growth and fulfillment. Consider this. Think about your last truly satisfying day. Was it filled with pleasures, good food, comfort, or enjoyments, challenges, learning, growth? Personal experiment. For the next week, track your activities in 2 columns: pleasure and enjoyment. Notice which activities leave you feeling energized and which leave you feeling drained. Story shot 6. What is an autotelic personality? An autotelic personality can create meaningful experiences regardless of external circumstances. It's built on 5 learnable traits: clarity of purpose, ability to center, awareness of choice, commitment, and challenge-seeking. Some people seem to find flow everywhere they go. They turn waiting in line into people-watching adventures, transform boring meetings into psychological studies, and approach mundane tasks with genuine curiosity. These individuals have developed what Csikszentmihalyi calls an autotelic personality. Real example. Meet David, a janitor at a large office building. While others might see his job as mundane, David has developed an autotelic approach. He treats each floor as a different challenge, experiments with efficient cleaning techniques, and takes pride in creating a pleasant environment for office workers. He often enters flow states while working and reports high job satisfaction. The encouraging news is that this isn't a fixed trait you're born with. It's a learnable skill set built on 5 key characteristics. 1. Clarity of purpose. They maintain clear goals in both their major life direction and moment-to-moment activities. 2. The ability to center. They can focus their attention deeply and sustain concentration for extended periods. 3. Awareness of always having a choice. They feel in control of their choices rather than victimized by circumstances. 4. Commitment to a chosen activity. They commit fully to whatever they're doing, bringing complete presence to each activity. 5. Challenge seeking. They actively seek challenges that stretch their capabilities and create opportunities for growth. Ask yourself, which of these 5 Autotelic personality traits comes most naturally to you? Which one could you develop further? Training tip. Start with 5-minute focused attention sessions. Pick any object and study it completely: texture, color, weight, temperature. When your mind wanders, gently return to the object. This builds your attention muscle. Story shot 7. What is psychic entropy? Psychic entropy is scattered attention caused by low challenge or unclear feedback. For example, unstimulating admin work, open-ended waiting. Flow restores order by focusing attention on a single, meaningful challenge. Psychic entropy describes that scattered, chaotic mental state when our attention has nowhere productive to focus. Common examples include the restless anxiety of a boring Sunday afternoon with nothing to do, the mental fog when you're overwhelmed by too many competing priorities, the boredom during unstimulating administrative tasks, the scattered feeling when switching between too many browser tabs. Jennifer, a marketing director, described her pre-flow awareness state. I'd start my day checking email, then get distracted by a news article, then remember I needed to call a client, but first check Instagram. By 10 a.m., I felt exhausted but had accomplished nothing meaningful. This mental chaos is the enemy of flow and the source of much human suffering. The 2 mental states most commonly associated with psychic entropy are boredom and anxiety. Boredom has 2 primary causes: insufficiently challenging tasks where your skills exceed the difficulty, and insufficient feedback that makes you feel your work doesn't matter. Anxiety emerges when you're overwhelmed by too many tasks or try activities above your skill level. You lose control of your consciousness and feel like decisions are made for you. Flow serves as the perfect antidote to psychic entropy. By focusing your mental energy on a single engaging challenge, you create order from chaos and transform potential anxiety into productive engagement. Practical technique. The attention anchor. When you notice your mind scattering, immediately. 1. Stop what you're doing. 2. Take 3 deep breaths. 3. Choose one thing to focus on for the next 15 minutes. 4. Set a timer and commit fully to that one thing. Reality check. How much of your day is spent in mental chaos versus focused flow? What would change if you could flip that ratio? Story shot 8. How does intrinsic motivation power flow? Internal motivation creates more sustainable satisfaction than external rewards. Focus on what you'll become through the process, not just what you'll get from it. Most enjoyable activities are not natural. They demand an effort that initially one is reluctant to make. But once the interaction starts to provide feedback to the person's skills, it usually begins to be intrinsically rewarding. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Here's one of the most counterintuitive insights from flow research. The best motivation comes from inside you, not from external rewards. When you do something purely for external rewards, you miss the daily joy of the process itself. Mark started a consulting business purely to make money. Every client interaction felt transactional. He dreaded difficult projects and counted hours until he could stop working. After learning about intrinsic motivation, he reframed his approach. How can I genuinely help this client solve their biggest challenge? This shift transformed his work from a grind into a source of flow and satisfaction. Practical reframes. Instead of, I need to exercise to lose weight. Try, I want to see how strong and capable my body can become. Instead of, I have to do this report for my boss. Try, this is a chance to practice clear communication and analytical thinking. Challenge question. What's one thing you do primarily for external rewards? How could you find intrinsic motivation in that same activity? External motivators won't allow you to appreciate the daily grind. Eventually, this will lead to boredom, anxiety, or another negative emotional state. But intrinsic motivation creates a positive feedback loop. The more you engage with something for its own sake, the more skilled you become, which makes it more enjoyable. Story Shot 9. How can flow transform stress and build resilience? Flow reframes obstacles as puzzles to solve rather than threats to survive. By learning to enter flow intentionally, you quiet overwhelming worries and find calm control. Stress is unavoidable, but it doesn't have to derail your well-being. Flow teaches you to approach challenges as opportunities to grow stronger and more capable. Think of driving in heavy traffic. A skilled driver sees each twist, turn, and overtake as part of the puzzle. A novice driver, by contrast, experiences constant stress that drains focus and increases mistakes. The difference isn't the situation, it's the mindset. When stress feels overwhelming, combine the puzzle reframe with the STOP method. The reframe provides the mindset while STOP provides the steps. Stop what you're doing. Take a breath and assess the situation objectively. Organize the challenge into specific, actionable steps. Proceed with focus on the immediate next step. Example: Lisa, a project manager, used to panic when projects slipped off track. Now she reframes the problem as a puzzle. Okay, we're behind schedule and over budget. What are the 3 most critical tasks? Who has capacity to help? What can we postpone or eliminate? By pairing mindset with method, she transforms overwhelm into a sequence of solvable steps. During stressful periods, flow becomes your refuge. Even in major challenges, a flow-oriented approach helps you respond with confidence rather than fear. Personal reflection. Think of a recent stressful situation. How could you have combined the puzzle reframe and the stop steps to shift from panic to problem solving? Story Shot 10. How do I find flow at work? Define a specific 15 to 50-minute outcome. Remove distractions, set instant feedback, timer, or checklist, and tune difficulty to slightly above your current skill. Finding flow at work requires intentional design of your tasks and environment. Here's how to engineer flow in professional settings. Set micro goals. Instead of finish the report, try write the executive summary in 30 minutes, or complete 3 client emails in 15 minutes. Create feedback loops. Use timers, progress bars, checklists, or draft review cycles to get immediate signals about your progress. Match challenge to skill. If work feels boring, add complexity or set higher standards. If it feels overwhelming, break tasks into smaller components. Design your environment. Block notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create 25 to 50-minute focus sprints with clear start and stop times. Find intrinsic motivation. Connect daily tasks to larger purposes. Ask, how does this help me grow? Instead of just, what will I get from this? Real example. I break coding projects into 45-minute sprints. Each sprint has a specific goal like implement user login or fix 3 bugs. I use a timer, turn off Slack, and focus on just that one function. When I hit flow, hours pass like minutes and the code just flows. Software developer. Implementation guide, your 5-step flow action plan. Start implementing flow today with these strategies. 1. Set clear, immediate goals. Define specific outcomes like complete 3 important emails in 30 minutes instead of vague intentions. 2. Find your challenge skill sweet spot. If bored, increase difficulty. If anxious, break tasks into smaller steps. Aim for challenges about 10% harder than your comfort zone. 3. Create instant feedback systems. Use timers, checklists, or progress tracking to see improvement in real time. 4. Embrace intrinsic motivation. Focus on what you'll learn and how you'll grow rather than external rewards. 5. Practice deep concentration. Block distractions and commit fully to single tasking for 25 to 50-minute sprints. Ready to unlock your potential? Choose one activity today and apply these flow principles. You might be amazed at how quickly you transform an ordinary task into an extraordinary experience. Join our flow community. Share your progress, challenges, and successes. Comment on Spotify or visit our website to connect with others on the flow journey. Final summary and review. Flow stands as one of the most important psychology books ever written, offering a scientifically backed roadmap to optimal human experience. Csikszentmihalyi's decades of research reveal that happiness isn't something that happens to us. It's something we can create through intentional attention management and skill development. Key takeaways. 1. Flow occurs when challenge perfectly matches skill level. 2. Clear goals and immediate feedback are essential for optimal experience. 3. Intrinsic motivation creates more lasting satisfaction than external rewards. 4. Anyone can develop an autotelic personality through practice. 5. Flow serves as an antidote to psychic entropy and modern life's chaos. Who should read this? Anyone seeking greater fulfillment, productivity, and happiness. Essential for leaders, creatives, athletes, and anyone interested in peak performance and deep work strategies. What's your biggest takeaway from this summary? Which story shot resonated most with you? Share in the comments. We love hearing how these ideas land with our community. Related audiobook summaries on story shots. If you enjoyed Flow, explore these complimentary summaries on peak performance and psychology. Deep Work. Cal Newport's Guide to Focused Success in Our Distracted World. Perfectly complementing flow principles. Mindset. Carol Dweck's research on growth versus fixed mindsets and how beliefs shape success. Atomic Habits. James Clear's system for building habits that support flow states and optimal performance. Peak Performance. Brad Stolberg and Steve Magnus reveal the science behind sustained excellence. Grit. Angela Duckworth's research on passion and perseverance in long-term achievement. Mental Models. Thinking frameworks that top performers use for better decisions and complex problem solving. Frequently asked questions about flow. What are the 8 elements of flow? The 8 elements are clear goals, immediate feedback, challenge skill balance, deep concentration, escape from worries, sense of control, loss of self-consciousness, and altered time perception. How do I find flow at work? Define specific 15 to 50-minute outcomes, remove distractions, create feedback loops with timers or checklists, and match task difficulty to your skill level. What is an autotelic personality? An autotelic personality can create meaningful experiences in any situation through 5 traits: clarity of purpose, ability to center, awareness of choice, commitment, and challenge seeking. What's the difference between pleasure and enjoyment? Pleasure satisfies basic needs temporarily, while enjoyment comes from voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile, leading to personal growth. Can anyone learn to achieve flow states? Yes, flow is a learnable skill, not an inborn talent. With practice and the right techniques, anyone can increase their frequency and depth of flow experiences. We've scratched the surface in this flow summary. If you don't already have Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's transformative book on psychology and optimal experience, order your copy or get the audiobook for free using the link in the description or the StoryShots app to dive deeper into the research and discover even more practical applications for your life.